The gold of the forest, a real survival multi-talent. Welcome back, my name is VanessaBlank from Wild Woman Bushcraft, and today you can accompany me in the woods because I'm searching for the gold of the woods. This is something that I'm pretty sure you stumble across it in your forest walk, but not many people know about the real multi-talent of this small thing. So if you want to learn something interesting and pretty cool, come with me in the woods. What a wonderful sunny fall day. This is not the gold of the forest, but it's a mushroom that I really like because of the color. In German it's called Violetter Lacktrichterling. Violet is the color of it. And so it doesn't taste pretty good, but I really like the color of it in my food, and also you can dry it pretty good. So this one will come with me. Psst. Könnt ihr den Specht hören? So now you were able to hear two of the forest police animals. One is the acorn, this one, and the second one is a woodpecker. It's somewhere around picking at a tree. And when you hear one of them, the acorn or the woodpecker, the sound of them, the sound of the woodpecker when he feels disturbed is kee, kee, or the acorn with this. So then you know, you can pretty be sure that someone is around because they are feeling disturbed like this. But it could also be that you are the person that's disturbing. I'm searching for the video today for needle trees. And when you are so deep inside of flora and fauna, you maybe think, hey girl, what's up? Everywhere around are leaves at the ground. This is only leaf tree forest. No, you are wrong. So we all know that nature is a topic that isn't learned enough in our school. So I'm pretty sure every one of you heard about it in school times, but here in Germany the children get taught about nature from books. So I'm wondering why those teachers don't go outside with their kids in the woods and are teaching directly there, where they can feel it, where they can see it, smell it, and see the whole thing, and not only a part of a tree in a book. So, and because of it is like it is, I want to show you also in this video 3 different needle trees that can be really useful for your knowledge, and of course also in survival situations when you remember the trees and how they look and what they can give you. When I see this tree stump, everything is rotten inside. I am remembering my childhood because I always played as a kid that I am a witch, and this here is my witch soup. There is fire under it. And in those rotten tree stumps is often water inside, and then I use a branch and move my soup inside, my witch soup. Yeah, this is something that I really loved to play as a kid. The first tree that I want to show you, which is also important for the gold of the wood, is this tree. This here is a pine tree, and as you can see it has big pieces in the bark. It's like a puzzle, you can remove parts of it. So these are big pieces. See my hand? So then you can see these are really big pieces. And this here are the needles of the pine tree. The needles are pretty long, they are soft at the top. And this here inside are the seeds. It's pretty small. So this here in the middle is the pine tree. Now we are switching up. And you can see up there, start the branches to grow with the needles in the upper part. And you can also see that the tree isn't growing straight. So this is typical for the pine tree. This here is the next needle tree. Here are some spruce trees. And as you can see, the branches with the needles are here at the half of the size of the tree. So if a spruce tree can stand without any trees around, it would have a beautiful dress with needle branches all around. But if they stand close together, like here, there is no light between them. And then the upper branches are dead after several years without light. So then only the upper part is growing. This here is the bark of the spruce tree. As you can see, it's also like a puzzle, but smaller pieces. And there are lines around that are going not directly straight up, but yeah, if you can see this, there are lines everywhere. So small pieces of a puzzle. These here are the needles of the spruce tree. If you touch them, it feels a little bit itchy. And the needles are growing around the branch, which is really important to identify this, the spruce tree. So they are growing around. And this here is the tap. It's a little bit older one. It looks a little bit moldy. So it's closed now because it's wet at the ground. So if it's raining or if it's wet, the tap is closed. In sunny weather condition, the tap is open. And as you can see, it's pretty big. So if the tree is smaller and younger, the taps are a little bit smaller, but they look all the same. The last one in the bundle is here, this one here. And as you can see, the branches are growing here a little bit, here a little bit, here a little bit. So it's not so easy to see because there are many trees around. This is the bark of the fir tree. And it looks like there is a softer bark in the underground, and here are those small pieces at the top. So it's not so easy to identify trees only from the bark. And because of this, I show you another typical sign for this kind of tree. You will never or not often find a fir cone. Why? Because they are falling apart when they are still growing, still fixed at the branches. So they're falling apart in the air and only small pieces fall down. So what is a really significant sign are those needles. I told you by the spruce trees, the needles are growing all around of the branch. But here they are growing in two sides, only left and right. So this is a very easy sign to know the difference between a spruce tree and this one. Can you see how the mushrooms are growing? This is a witch ring. Now I found something. Here is the gold of the forest. If trees got hurt, they can take care about themselves and treat those wounds. So a lot of trees have resin. Resin is a great possibility to cover a wound, but not all trees have resins inside. For example, maybe you saw a beech tree, and when a tree breaks close to the tree itself, maybe you saw that the tree is trying to cover this area. So when the branch broke close enough to the tree itself, there is something around which is called callus. So the tree tried to cover this part because the tree don't want that it get an infection. Not every time it worked, but they try it. When massive forest machines are making their way through the woods, trees are always in their way. That means there are often wounds in the trees because of these huge machines. So if you want to search for resin, just go into needle tree forest and walk around those forest paths, because there will be a lot of wounds in the trees, and then that means you have also the gold of the forest. What I have done now is to remove the upper part of the resin. As you can see, here is the wound and here it's floating down. Here are also some resin drops. So I don't want to open the wound again. Because of this, I always just use the upper cover with resin and let the wound itself closed. Here is another piece of resin. And here with this color you can find out why it's called gold of the woods, because this here look like a gold nugget, or isn't it? So you can find resin in different states. You can find one which is really clear and looks like glass, and then you find something like this here which looks milky. Yeah, and there, when the sun shine at resin and it is clear, you can, it looks like amber. You know, amber is resin. If you don't want to hurt the tree, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to open the wound again, just use resin which is floating down like here. What you can do with resin? So the uses are very difficult, but like I told you in the beginning of the video, resin is a game changer in a survival situation. But of course you can also use this knowledge without a survival situation. So point 1, how you can use resin. If you put a little bit of resin in your fire start tinder like grass seeds or anything else, this will be a perfect possibility to make your fire stronger and let it burn longer, because resin burns pretty well. It's not enough to start a fire, so you need a fire starter like plant seeds for the beginning. But if you have a flame and you add resin, this would be perfect. So for example, if you have wet wood which needs longer to start burn, just add some resin and this will help you. Okay, Eike, why do you steal it? So, point 1 is you can make a survival lighter with this seed holder from the spruce tree and resin. Just add the resin between those parts, several drops of them, or if you have a resin which is like glue, just put it around. And when you then fix this here at a branch, several of them with resin inside, this would be a perfect lighter. So it burns pretty long and pretty strong. So if you have no light or no fire in a survival situation, or you just have to walk around in the woods and you want to be protected from dangerous animal, you can use resin in combination with something like this to protect you and give you light. Second use of resin is the smoke. So you can smoke out your house to bring away negative energies. And people always buy expensive resin from everywhere from the world. But you can also use the resin that you find in your own woods, because it will do the same effect. But I don't think to bring away negative energies in a survival situation. But you can use the smoke to protect yourself from mosquitoes, because mosquitoes hate smoke. If you start your campfire and sit around your campfire, you won't be bitten from mosquitoes. But it's not like that the mosquitoes hate the smoke. It's another thing, because mosquitoes fly in your direction because they can smell you. If you are sweating a lot in the summer, that means you have a stronger body smell, yeah. And you can just add some resin at a glowing amber piece, and the smoke will be continually there. And because the smoke is there, the mosquitoes can't smell you, and then they can't find you and cannot bite you. If you are in a survival situation and you have a rain jacket or a tarp and it has a hole in it, of course you want to close this hole, but you have no tape or glue or anything in the woods, then you can also use resin, because some kind of resin is pretty sticky. So that resin that I removed from the tree before was pretty hard. So it was just like stones. It doesn't itch anything at my fingers, but you can also find resin which is like glue, and then just add it at the hole, press the parts together, and it will be closed. In the winter times don't fix it so good because of the cold temperatures, but in the summertime and in the fall and spring also it would be perfect. So if you only find those resin which is not sticky, just heat it a little bit and then it changes the consistency and you can add it like a glue. Look, here is a huge path with resin. To remove it you can just use a branch, a stick or anything, old knife. Don't use a pocket knife or a new knife, because resin won't go away so easily. And if you have resin on your clothes, just put it in the freezer and then you can remove the resin easier, or add some butter. It really helps. Maybe you know the fact that if you chew your food pretty long, you will feel full and not hungry very soon. And this effect is also usable in a survival situation, because you can use resin as a chewing gum. I'll be honest with you, it's not pretty nice because it sticks everywhere around your teeth. But you can chew it pretty long. And feeling hungry can let you go crazy in a survival situation. So, and if you chew a resin for a long time, this will suggest your brain, oh, I eat a lot, so I can tell the stomach that it should feel full now. In the past, the people used resin to heal the bodies. So, for example, if you get a cold, you can use it. Resin is antiseptic and anti-inflammatory. Yeah, you know, the tree used the resin to cover the wounds that don't get any mushroom infection or some other infections. So, and the same use can we have for the human body, not only for the trees. I will show you soon how you can prepare yourself a resin cream, that you can just do it for yourself completely with natural materials, pretty good. It helps when you have cough, or also when you have gout or rheumatism, and also when you have dry skin. In the past, they also use resin for ship construction, because you know you have to fill all those holes between the wood that there is no possibility for water to coming in, and they use the sticky resin to close all those areas. In the past they cut those needle trees with like this letter from my name, and then the resin will drop into a bottle or something like that, or a pen, because they use the resin also the gluing for paper making, and they also use it in Greek for a traditional resin wine. I hope you learned now a lot of interesting facts about resin. I really think that resin is such a great possibilities without, and of course also in survival situations. And also, did you know that wood ants put small pieces of resin in their entrances, and all the ants which are coming from bringing food or construction material has to walk over this resin. Why? Because of the antiseptic and anti-inflammatory use. So the ants use the resin to hold all the bacteria outside of their home. Pretty smart, oh? So I hope you learned a lot, and if it's so, feel free to leave a comment, thumbs up, and if you aren't a subscriber yet, feel free to subscribe. I wish you a great time, and we see us. Bye bye.